Hey everyone. Just waiting for people to join me here. Hello, Susie. You're the first. Welcome. Hope you're doing well. I'm getting up my tablet so that I can see comments as I do this. Hi, Lori. Hi, Tanya. Helen, welcome. Helene or Helen. Woohoo! Yay! I'm so excited you guys are here. I have a mini album. I posted that as a teaser in the group, a little picture of the cover, I think yesterday or the day before, but I'm excited to get into it. Hiya! Hi, Charlotte. I actually have notes and a script, and I'm super organized. From Melbourne, Australia, hello. There's my girl Val, hi. We have a big group, so I feel like I needed to be rehearsed today. Not my personality at all. Usually I'm a wing it kind of person and I fly by the seat of my pants, but I wanted to be a little bit more prepared and polished today. Marissa, what's up, girl? Good to hear from you. I haven't talked to you in a million years. Give me a comment. Tell me how you're doing. Hello, hello, says Val. Oh, I love your mini album, so you must love my mini album. So I don't know if you guys can see over my shoulder. I kind of dug through, I have a trunk, a legit antique trunk, like a wardrobe trunk that is my coffee table in my living room, just outside that door. And all my scrapbooks are in there and a lot of mini albums. So I dug them out and they're over there because I was kind of taking some inspiration. You love my wing it. Helen says she loves it when I wing it because if you've never been to a Krista video before, I'm loud and spontaneous and I don't always think before I speak and there's lots of giggling and we have a lot of fun. Paula says, afternoon, Krista. Hello, Paula. So anyway, I kind of went down the rabbit hole when I got these out because you start to look and get sentimental and ooh and ah at things. And then there are some that have no pictures in them at all, but I'm going to talk to you about that as I get on and do my tutorial. So lessons learned. And now that I have gone down that rabbit hole and dug these out and walked down memory lane, I think I'm motivated now to print some more pictures and add them to the ones that I already have. So how many do we got? We got 13. I am punctual, so it's just after 7 right now. I'm not one that likes to be late, so we're kicking it off right on time. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to follow along simply because it's an album, so it's a huge undertaking. So my lesson for you today is more on how to approach it, how to organize yourself, and how to feel accomplished when you finish a mini album. Of course, if you've done mini albums before, then I'll have a lot of tips and techniques about my strategy, my style, and creating it to be bougie and fabulous, your own album. That's the best thing about albums. You enjoy them later. Me too, they are so much fun. I hope you think I'm fun. Catherine says, hello, Krista. Hello. Yeah, and I feel like it's been a long time since I took an album out and actually enjoyed it. It's been a long time since I created one. I worked very hard on this album and a couple of evenings over the week. My daughter, my oldest, came down at one point. She's like, you're scrapbooking? You haven't scrapbooked in ages, Mom. My son comes down 2 days later and says, oh, I thought you gave up on that. So it's been a hot minute since I did a mini album or a scrapbook. So, and the kids were really excited about this one. I'm so excited to show you my theme. You're gonna think I'm spoiled, and of course I am. I'm just fabulous and fancy, but this album is gonna like really make it obvious that I'm fancy. So, hello from Winnipeg. Hi, Sandy. Okay, how much time have I burned? 5 minutes. Where do I wanna start? Okay, so I'm gonna start with mini albums because I wanna show you this. Okay. Mini albums, okay? Oh, let me get the chin look skinnier. I think I'm the self-professed queen of mini albums. I'm using the Beautiful World suite, of course, like we have been all month. And I am the last tutorial, so I'm following Cindy, Jen, and Susan, who all did beautiful things this month. Oh, I'm missing something here. Linda, oh my gosh, Krista, don't put your hand in front of the camera. Is this your first rodeo or what? Oh, it's been a long time since I made any scrapbooking albums. I do love mini albums. I'm excited to see your presentation. Wowza, whoa, whoa, that's a nice stack. Yeah, it's a nice big stack. So I think we're gonna flip around and I'm gonna show you the cover, and then I'm gonna start to talk you through my process. We'll talk through the process, then I'm gonna make the cover with you, then I'm gonna spontaneously do the last 3 pages of my album that I haven't done yet. Cool? So you might need to get a glass of wine or a cup of tea or a glass of water, kick your feet up, watch, learn, observe the master in action, and then you might need to come back and revisit to make your own. If you're trying to follow along, God help you. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna turn you around and you're gonna go for a little ride here. Flip, sorry, there we go. Trying to get you into the stand as fast as possible. Oh, I don't want you to cheat. No cheating at my homework, kids. Gotta get you all buckled in. My husband raised my stand so that, come on girl, stay. So that I could get more screen in, but now you can see this. So I don't have one of those fancy store-bought ones. My husband did a wood one for me. And then I have, as you just saw me turn on all the lights. So it's like my ghetto camera stand, but nothing fancy from Amazon for me. Okay, coffee in hand. Whoop, whoop. Way to go, Tanya. Okay, so let's get a better look at the album. Ta-da-da-da! Isn't it so pretty? So this is 6 by 9 for all of those that want to know. And I'm going to talk about album sizes as we move along, but I just can't wait to show you what it looks like. So the cover, of course, with this world theme, I decided to take a photograph of every city we've ever been to, and as a family, because there's obviously, we took pre-kid trips, which were wonderful, but as a family. So I am super bougie. I warned you, super fancy. Yes, this is every city we've ever been to outside of Canada, but that's all thanks to Stampin' Up, because I am an award-winning Stampin' Up demonstrator. And with that, my family and I have traveled the world. So 2002, Orlando, Florida. Labadee, Haiti, still in, oh, I didn't write 2014. Cozumel, Mexico. We're gonna look at these in detail, so don't worry if I'm going too fast. Falmouth, Jamaica. Honolulu, Hawaii. Barcelona, Spain. Pompeii, Italy. Are you guys loving it? Sorrento, Italy. Livorno, Italy. I hope I'm saying them with a nice, sexy accent. Cannes, France. Hello, Sharon. Rome. Phuket, Thailand. Seattle, Washington. And then we have 3 more cities that we visited. So we're going to do that. Okay, so I just couldn't wait to show you that. So now, not a very good instructor if I can't get it to close. Okay, so there we go. So let's start at the beginning. If you've never done a mini album, please don't worry. Anybody can do this. And if you haven't traveled the world and you don't have photographs of the world, please don't worry, because you can put anything in a mini album. Pictures from your cell phone, in the day in the life, anything that you have. You don't even need your photographs. I'm trying to think okay, I am going by the seat of my pants, so I'm not as rehearsed as I thought it was. So if you don't have photographs, you can certainly make something like this and then go through and find photographs that you've traveled to. Maybe someplace your parents went on a honeymoon. Ooh, that would be cute. You could do a photograph of like your grandparents on honeymoon and you on your honeymoon and your parents on a honeymoon or something like that. So there are a million different things you could put into this world-themed mini album. Okay, so step number 1, we want to print those pictures. In Canada, did London Drugs because they're fast, 24 hours. And I just went into my hard drive and I printed a bunch of photographs. These photos here are 3.5, that's not right, 3.5 by 4. Maybe that is right. I wrote this down and nope, 5 by 3.5. I have to edit this. That's 5 by 3.5. I'm going to give this to you. I'm going to post it and then you're going to see it. So these are 5 by 3.5. This photo place also does 4 by 4, which is super fun. You can do 4 by 6, which is the traditional size. The hard part with 4 by 6 is that it makes it difficult to fill a page with okay, so I cut this one down a little bit. So if it was a 4 by 6, it would take up that whole page, right? So just print them, just grab a few. I didn't know what I wanted. I took a few from each trip. This was Disney, that was Seattle, that was Seattle. I don't even know, right? Somewhere on the cruise. You know what? It doesn't hurt to have them, but the key is just print them and then you can do something with them. So now that I have those on hand, the next time there's a rainy day or I want to make an album, I have them at the ready, okay? Love making mini albums, said Sandy. Oh my God, that's stunning, said Tanya. Gorgeous. Awesome. Okay. And in my instructions, I say that that's step 0.1 because like I said, you can make a mini album and you don't have to have the photos. Like I mentioned, there's a number of albums over there with 0 photos in them. I'm also guilty of doing a scrapbook page that doesn't have a photo. And this may sit for 10 years without, I was going to say a year. Let's be real. This may sit for 10 years without a photo, but that's okay. One day it's going to get a photo and it's going to be beautiful. I would like to say my New Year's resolution is to print the photos. Okay, hold me accountable. Now, step number 1, choose a theme. And that's where the Crafty Carrot has come into place. Usually I'm inspired by a suite. So in this case, we're using the dies and the stamp set and the designer series paper. I'm trying to get everything out. Okay, so choosing a theme always starts with a designer series paper or a card kit or a Memories and More kit or something like that. I have a Disney themed mini album with no pictures. Okay, Catherine, just please tell me you've been to Disney. Morning all, says Narelle. Hello, Narelle. And then, so once you have your designer series paper, you can choose a stamp set and a die that coordinate with your theme. Of course, this has a pairing that is perfect, the stamp set and dies, but you could choose anything else. You could use a different word stamp set and use the graphics that are from this set, like the globe, etc. And that leads to my next step, which is choose a color combo. So when I store my scraps, I have them in this little page protector and I give myself a little piece of each of the designer series papers and then I write out the color combo. So when I'm working with a color, I've been to Disney many times. Whew, okay, thank goodness. All my scrapbooks are missing pictures. Okay, we're gonna start a club of scrapbook pages with no pictures. So with the mini album, I noticed that I wanted to get carried away. So I had set my theme. Step number 1, set my theme. Step number 2, set my color combo. I'm using it from here. But I found myself wanting to get carried away in my Hawaii layout, for example, because we have a beautiful stamp set that is timeless tropical. And I thought, ooh, that would pair really well. To me, again, getting carried away because I wanted to be able to achieve making an album in a couple of evenings. You could spend 12 months on an album, but I wanted that sense of accomplishment, something short and sweet, but still stunning. So I steered away from taking other stamp sets in my collection and adding them to this. Not to say that you couldn't, but our goal here was actually to finish a project. Because as crafters, I know we're all guilty of not finishing a project. Okay. I didn't use every color in here. I like to usually stick to about 5. I only used the smoky slate a couple of times, so I'm pretending I didn't. So I have basic black, cinnamon cider, misty moonlight, mossy meadow, and crumb cake. And then of course we have whisper white throughout the album. So now I know my theme and I have my color combo. And I would recommend at this point when you're starting, grab those ink pads, grab those scrap pieces of paper and literally put them on your desk. So you have them right at your fingertips and it makes it really easy to start designing things. If you have items that you want to coordinate with it, I'm gonna throw in on the album and use some ribbon and some rhinestones. So you're gonna see a theme through all of this. This is like the base on every page. Not getting carried away, not bringing in the tropical stamp sets, but I really wanted to focus on a theme and a selection of products. Okay, I'm checking my notes. Now, tools outside of this, of course we have the dies, but there's some basics that I really like to use on album pages, and it doesn't matter what the album is. I find that I'm always grabbing some type of a tab punch, great for titles, borders, page tabs. I got glare. So this one is the, I don't even know what this one's called, Everyday Label Punch and the Classic Label Punch. 2 must-haves if you're a scrapbooker or you like to make mini albums. You can see how well used they are. They're all beat up and scratched up. So we're going to be using those as well. And then often I reach for some circle punches. I know this die set comes with a circle, but I also grab out my circle punches. So that's about the meat and potatoes. I guess I should tell you, we talked about the ink pad, the paper, but you want to grab out your ink. So I have black, moonlight, mossy, crumb cake, and smoky slate. So that's it. Keep it simple, Simon, right? We're just having all of these at our fingertips, everybody out and ready, everything out and ready to go. I also mount all of my stamps. So they're off to my right over here. They're all mounted, which, like I said, then you can just start letting the smoke fly and you can be like Edward Scissorhands going, making your mini album. Okay. Check, check, check my list. Okay, so we have the photos printed. We decided a theme. We have a color combo and we've physically taken out our ink, paper, and coordinating products. Now we need to decide our album size. Hello, Suzanne. Welcome. I'm just going through the steps and my thought process. We haven't started stamping yet, so you haven't missed anything. Of course, everybody else that's joining in, you can always come back to the replay because I know you're going to be hanging on every word that I say and you're going to want to watch it 17 times. So mini albums, there's really endless possibilities. I'm going to grab some. Okay. So my favorite size and what we're doing today is, I'll bring you this one. I mentioned at the beginning, 6 by 9. The reason is this is 5.5 by 8.5. So a piece of paper cut in half. Easy breezy. I use the thick Whisper White cardstock because it gives me a nice sturdy page. I created the album cover by using the chipboard that is packaged with our designer series paper. But don't let that be the only album size that you could do. I have done mini albums. This was another Crafty Carrot tutorial that has no photographs, made out of cards and envelopes. So this would be your standard card size. This is similar. Again, I think this was another Crafty Carrot tutorial. Oh, there's my grandma. And it is cards. I don't know where these tabs came from. Maybe I punched that? God, I don't remember. And it has little paper bags in it, but it only has half the photos in it. See, guilty, guilty. This one was another Crafty Carrot tutorial, and all these are little pockets. Cute, right? There is one more thing I wanted to show you. if making your own pages stresses you out, but you like the idea of creating your own cover, we have pocketed page protectors at in our catalogs, and they're, oh my God, 6 by 8. How come I don't know the answer to that? Whatever they are, you can buy them. They're beautiful. And then you can just tuck in the Memories and More card packs, or you could add pieces of designer series paper. But I've done that same idea of using the coil ring and the chipboard or the packaging paper from the designer series paper as a cover. So, like I said, so many possibilities. The world is your mini album oyster. Okay. So the trick, and I think I mentioned it, is the cover just needs to be about 1/2 inch to 1 inch larger than our pages. We're going to come back to the cover and we're going to talk about now getting the inside done. I wish Stampin' Up! Still had 6 by 6 sheet protectors. That size was really what I liked doing. That's from Catherine. Yeah, totally agree. I actually am PO'd that we don't have 12 by 12 because I went on Amazon and having a hard time finding a good set of 12 by 12 page protectors. I went to Michael's today and they were sold out of 12 by 12 page protectors because I think everybody in quarantine and COVID is scrapbooking. So I'm kind of bummed that we don't have them anymore. So if you have a link for a good, sturdy, heavy duty 12 by 12 page protector, hook me up because I am in desperate need. I've used all my Stampin' Up! Ones already. So, okay. So I've mentioned that the pages of my album are thick Whisper White cut in half. So this is an 8.5 by 11 cut in half. So when I start to work, I literally take, and I don't know how many I'm going to be able to show here, but I think I'm going to get 3, which is my goal because we have 3 pages left. So I have my photos. I kind of know maybe I want 10, 20 pages in my album. I clear off my counter, I clean off my kitchen table, and I lay out all of these sheets. Step number 1, right? Because now we have a visual. This is where we're starting. Step number 2, we're going to take those photographs and we're going to put them on a page. Now, for me, can we see? Okay, we're good, we're good. Okay. I prefer working with 1 photograph per page, even when I am scrapbooking. I'm a 1 picture per page. In the olden days, 20 years ago, the trend was to put multiple pictures on a page. That clean white scrapbook page is kind of on trend right now. If you like multiple pictures, go crazy. You could even, this one could be easily cropped smaller. You wouldn't see the mountains in the background and get to enjoy Alaska in the photograph, but you can certainly cut and crop your photographs. So that was the next step, right? So we've got our card bases and we have our photos ready to go. The next step, and I think it's a pretty important tip, is grab your color combo and take your stamp and your dies and your punches and just create a bunch of pieces. This becomes the philosophy that it's like a kit where you buy the card kits from Stampin' Up! Or Paper Pumpkin and everything's ready. These are all in the palette that you've chosen. If you don't use them, think of how easy it would be to put them together to make a card. So I literally put on Netflix and I crank out the big shot and I do a few globes in the colors that I like. I have a couple of these compasses. I stamped a few of the globes. I did some circles in the backgrounds, a few different colors, punched out some circles. Oh, these are all my tabs because remember I told you I love tabs. I did some stands in brass and black, and then I just did in some scraps a bunch of the sentiments and then those adorable coordinates. So that's ready to go. Wouldn't you like this if I just delivered this to you and I said, here you go, this is a gift from Krista. Wouldn't that be awesome? Oh, we have a couple joining. Hello. So I like this idea of pre-cutting up. Oh, right. Okay. So seriously, Catherine, it's going to make your album feel so easy once you get this done. So you have your colors on the side and then, or your pieces on the side. If you're starting with a brand new pack of 12 by 12 paper, it's a little bit different than if you've done some cutting. The beauty about working on a mini album is you really get to use all of these tiny little layers and pieces. So that is another tip. Once they're cut, then you can start using these as layers. Okay. So we've got that together. Now, what's next? We're not gluing anything down. That's the tip of the day. So many tips, so many steps. Right now, the takeaway is don't glue anything down. You want to hold off on that until the end. So we've got laying across our table, 15 pages, whatever. You got all your photographs, you've picked your favorite photographs, and you've laid them all down. Now let's get some cardstock layers or base, like bigger layers in there. So this paper was super wicked because it had the map, and I took a red Stampin' Up marker. So I know I want to use Vancouver area. It says Vancouver, but Victoria is below it because this is in Victoria on the Alaskan cruise. This piece is Juneau, Alaska. Juneau, it's Juneau. Get it? Okay. I don't know which way I want this to go, but I know I want that as a primary background. And I know I wanted to use this little piece, and then I had a chunk 4x6 of this designer series paper. So and I'm working in page layouts. So this is a page double spread, and then this is my single page, so it doesn't need to match. I need to get some sleep. It's 3:30 in the Netherlands. I will watch a replay. Have fun and good night. Oh yes, please. 3 in the morning, 3:30. I hope you're drunk if you're up at 3:30. Jeez Louise. Okay, so for example, this is the double layout. So they coordinate. Very different than this layout. Again, they're coordinating. So once you have everything laid out, remember your first page is a single layout, then start to think and visualize in pairs. So this is a pair, and then this is my single last page in my album here, okay? So I want these to be matchy-matchy, and this one maybe not so much. This is my favorite paper in the designer series paper pack, so I wanted it to be on my last page. And then this is in Mexico, so this isn't the Gulf of Mexico, I don't think. No, but maybe it is. Mazatlan. Ha, look at that. That's why I did that. I knew I saved it for a reason. I'm smarter than I think. So this is going to be my last page. Now, I know this is laid out. Let's concentrate on a spread, a double spread. I feel like I'm a scatterbrain right now. Give me a thumbs up or a heart if I'm doing okay. Jennifer, hello, Jen. Okay, let's bring these over. So, pretty easy, right? Guys, you could just adhesive these down and add some journaling, and your mini album could be off to the races. I added quite a few more layers to this because I was getting out of control, but that's okay. You want to do any stamping on the background. I didn't do a lot of background stamping on my albums, but I'm feeling some background stamping on this. And you want to make sure you do the background stamping before you start putting anything together. Because imagine I wanted to stamp some of those compasses down the side, but I'd already put this together. Well, you're never going to be able to stamp. So make sure if you're doing any background stamping on your primary base that you're doing it before assembly. Okay, I really got to take my own advice here because I almost screwed up. Aha, I got to take the book apart. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? So I'm carrying on. So this is the back side of the last page. So that's going to become this page. So now I can't do any background stamping on here because it's going to screw me up. So I got to get rid of this page. Capiche? We're okay? Hey, Susan. All right, all right, all right. I guess I could do some background. I'm going to do some of them down here because that's not too bad. Now, north is up. So I got to do some north is up here. I don't want to be getting it upside down. I guess some people might not care, but that would drive me bananas if north wasn't up. Oh, that looks cute. But again, I'm working in a double layout, so I'm going to do some background stamping over here. So it's matchy-matchy. How am I doing? I'm not used to this new height of this stand, so I'm not sure where I'm driving here. Where do I want the next one? Oh, we'll do it real close. Looks like a pair of boobies. Don't put them too close together. Okay. Okay, we got our photo mat. Okay. we're doing good here. Oh, that looks cute up there. Alaska, oh my gosh, I love it. So now let's bring in all those pieces that we talked about. Hello, Lori. Did you join already and I forgot and I said hello? I told you I'm a hot mess right now. Okay, so we have this tray. Now we can start to think about how we want to do this. So I'm thinking, and I'm literally winging it. I don't know what I want to do. Maybe adding some blue in here. That might be nice. Oh, but this is the wrong continent because this is in Alaska. Oh, but I only cut the other continent. So that's the other thing that has been catching me on this, because I have traveled the world, is that I wanted the globe to be the right continent. Because why would I put the other side of the world when I was in Alaska in this photograph? Is that like crazy or what? Beautiful journal, you make the world a better place. What should we grade on here? So because I have these, I can, oh, no, this one would be good. Oh, that's what we should do. Because if I put this one over here and then this one here, I can cover up that it's the wrong half of the world. I'm literally just layering, and this is how my process goes. But it's fast and easy because we have all of these pieces cut out already. I think we need some strips coming in there. I always like to have, maybe we'll add this in there. Grip and rip, because these are gonna let me date these. I know you guys think I'm probably making this look so easy, but once this is done, you're taking the guesswork out of it, I swear. I think I have a white circle here. I should be putting this here so you guys can see what I'm pulling from. Is that okay? Do we have enough space? I think if I push over, yeah, we're good. Okay, put this one back there. Oh yeah, that looks good. How are we doing? Now, let's go back to that designer series paper. I have a bunch of strips in here in my little bag of tricks. Black, I don't think I want black. Oh, green might be okay. It's just playing around, figuring it out. She said boobies. Boobies is not a bad word, for the record. It's a natural part of the human anatomy. That's funny. My son always laughed when he was a kid. There was a book, Princess Regina. You can imagine what he always thought it was. You're making it look so easy. I love watching your process though. This is how it was in Canada when we crafted together and our jaws were dropping. Really late arriving, we'll have to watch the replay. Where do you add your journaling on these pages, or do you put it on a separate page? Okay, good question. Let me show you that. Okay, I think we're getting there. Maybe I want to add, no. Oh yeah, maybe a little green across here, a little bit more green. Nope, I don't like that. Some black, sure. Okay, we're doing good. I think I'm happy. That looks good. Okay, did I impress you with my mad skills here? We got our background stamping. Okay, we're gonna start to do some gluing. I'm telling you, this is the trick. Okay, so Suzanne, journaling is, if I have a lot of journaling, for sure I would leave space. So let's pretend I wanted to journal on this layout, because that's a good question. So I might snug this right down so that I can just see a portion of Juno, because that was what my goal was. Maybe I'd forego the stand, and then I could, how are we doing? I think this is looking good. You could add some journaling in here. I'm not a huge journaler, so I don't leave myself miles and miles of cardstock to journal on. I am short and sweet. And then I need a little bit less real estate, but that would totally work if I wanted to add some journaling up there. Okay, cool. Does that answer your question? I think in some of the other pages, when we go back, it's taken apart right now. I like the red circle on the DSP. Oh yeah, me too, because that means that's where I was. And then I got an even better idea. I'm going to show you where I have the cities in title. Okay. This is the first time I'm using Stampin' Seal Plus. I used almost my whole roll of Stampin' Seal on the rest of the album. So I haven't used this yet. I'm excited to see. I actually didn't have a refill of the Stampin' Seal. So this is the first time I'm using the Plus. You want to use Plus, tear and tape, fast fuse, liquid glue, something, because you want this bad boy to stay together, right? You don't want it to fall apart. So now let's start to, oh, that one's pretty too. Hey, I never noticed these before. These triangles, those are set squares. We use those in architecture all the time. Oh, I like this one. Huh. You guys, I might like this better than the seal. Just the regular Stampin' Seal. This is the Plus. Should we go at an angle? Go wild and crazy? Let's go at an angle. I know some of you are angle challenged and you can't do that, and so you got to try to, we should have remembered what we did, Krista. But if you want to go do it straight, knock yourself out. Okay. Let's put this little tab so that we can put the date on there. A little bit more in the background. So now I want Vancouver to be, is this what I did last time? Why does it feel so incredibly different than what we did just a second ago? Yeah, I'm not pushing it down. The adhesive's there. I'm just going to let it stay. This was actually crunched when it was delivered, so we're just going to roll with that. Oh, stick this in here. Oh, so fancy. I'm just gently, I'm not pushing it. You're definitely angle challenged. I know, I have many customers like that when they come to classes and stuff, and then they make it straight, and that doesn't hurt my feelings because you know what? You do you, boo. Whatever you want to do, whatever makes your heart happy. Okay, so this is really hard to work with because if it was snail, I could just like tell it that I wanted to stick it underneath there, but it's not gonna let me. So we're just gonna do the opposite. Oh yeah, that's cute. Okay. I'm not pushing it down. It's just legit kind of floating there. Little bit of seal on the globe. And I want to tuck it in and it's not letting me. Oh yeah, that's cool. Okay. And then we want this guy. See how it's hovering and I haven't stuck it down? It's just like I'm thinking about it. I'm just thinking. It's got to find the balance. The right spot. Okay, I'm not sold on that one yet. This one I'm doing with dimensionals. This is how I work. I hope this is a good tutorial. You're probably like, Krista, you're not teaching me anything. I'm just watching you craft. They're good for my Instamix picks. Oh, Jen, yes, I've always wanted one of those. You were the first person that ever had one that showed me about those Instamix, and I always wanted one. Okay, so I'm pushing that down. We're committing. And I'm pushing this down, and now I got to figure out where I want this circle. Oh, I like that in there. Okay, pushing it down. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. What do you think? You create gorgeous layouts, Krista. Oh, thank you, Antoinette. So that's the first one. Here's the second one. Let's try to remember where this one was all laid out, Krista. Jeez Louise. Okay, so I'm going to push. Can we see? How am I doing? Oh my goodness. Okay. Keep this similar, but over here. Let's do the background on this one. Lift up. Do you guys, have you heard this? Gentle pressure, lift up, pull up. Up, up. Oh, I love this Stampin' Seal Plus. It is amazing. Okay, so I'm gonna come down really low on this one, I think. Juno, Skagway, I went there. Let's get this picture going. Lift up, lift up. If I put this on this side, because then I'm not going to cover up. Oh, but I wanted the globe on that side. Pardon me. Maybe this can come off the side. Yeah, that's the winner. We're going to come off the side on this one. Just make it stay down a little bit. Come on. Oh! Has that ever happened to you before? What did I do wrong? Maybe because it was already ripped? Boo-boo. I gotta go back and find it. There it is. There's the end. Oh, come on. Oh, hello. We're just gonna pretend that didn't happen. I always learn a little tidbit from you, Krista. Just tonight, I mentioned your tip with taking the rectangle dies and putting them through the die cut sideways for a smooth cut. Awesome. Loving it. Val says, lovely. Awesome. Okay. I'm not having an epic fail. This is good news. Okay, so now I forgot where I wanted all this because we talked about journaling. Okay. The Seal Plus is stressing me out because sometimes in scrapbooking, if you want to have something that's repositionable, then you can lift it up if it's snail. But the bummer about that is that if it's not sticking properly, you end up with the issue of your album that you spent all that time and energy on falling apart. Okay, so that's cute. It's working. Well, maybe we should do a little flag tail on this one. Okay, I could have got my triple banner punch out, but I didn't. Let's get these pieces. So I think we did something like this, yeah? Yep. A couple of glue dots work really well behind these continents here. The other one had more earth, so it was easier to, oh, where are they all? To add just the Stampin' Seal Plus behind, but in this case, I just used the glue dots. And I actually used the right die for this. Cindy was so excited that Stampin' Up! Included a circle die that coordinated with the globe. I found that annoying because I want to punch. I punch everything. Not punch, you know, I go to therapy for that, but use a punch to cut the paper. Leave space for your hole punches. Oh, I don't care about that, Susan. You're gonna see, that didn't bother me at all. I punched right through pictures and layers and it didn't bother me at all. If that bothers you, then that's fine. Just didn't bother me. I wanna make this a little bit shorter. You guys have probably seen this trick already. You just cut out any part of this band that you want, the stand, and then you can just do a little surgery here. So I'm gonna do a glue dot because I don't like liquid glue. It's a hot mess and I get sticky fingers and it's just easier if I can use these glue dots back there. So I'm gonna start at the bottom. Make sure I got this where I want it to be. Yep, cool. We're good. And then I'm gonna put this guy on, maybe with some dimensionals, because why not, if I can find dimensionals. But then I have to stamp it with the north arrow. I know, right? Like that's, again, why I'm in therapy. There's no logic to it. Okay, and I can do the continents crooked too. Oh, you know what I should have done? I've seen some people do this sideways, like a crescent, this little loop-de-loo thing. Now, I might have to get out my white glue and put this down because in a mini album, I don't want it to be bending and popping out and stuff. So I'm gonna have to pick my battles here, but that's okay. Get a little Stampin' Seal behind this one and tuck it in. Oh, nice and cute. And then I can do this little banner. I don't know where I want it to go. Well, I can't do that side. Maybe we just want it up there. Wonder if I'm gonna be able to stick it in behind that photo. Oh yeah. There we go. I think I want it at the same angle. There we go. Just kind of balances those off. Okay. That's not bad. I'm happy with that. You ready for one more, the last page? So now I got to do it on the back of this. And we had laid out, so again, I just grabbed a couple of pieces of cardstock that I knew I wanted to work with together. I'm going to move this out of the way. And then I'm going to start to work with the photograph in there. So I'm going to, yeah, we're doing these long layouts. They're all looking the same to me, but they're all going to be different in the end. And then I'm going to grab my stack of pieces that I have cut. I wanted to use Adventure Awaits on this last page because this was the trip we just took in January of 2020. And when this COVID baloney is over, we cannot wait for our next adventure. Now, I think I want the black. I like how this is black. What else can we add on here? What are these ones? Oh, these are just the globes. Ooh, I like these. These are some of my favorite. Let's try to get this in here. There's a layer up there. Is that upside down? I like this up here. Aw, gorgeous picture of those kids. Yeah, it really is. Oh, my mom is on. Okay, so still not gluing anything down. Ooh, look, I even cut out some of these little pieces. That's cute. Adventure Awaits. Oh, I like that. Adds a little bit of bling, adds a little bit of sparkle. Let's see if there's any of these designer series paper strips that are gonna work to my advantage. Nope, don't like that. Nope, don't like that. And I didn't use any of the bumblebee on this. I only used, like I said, I chose a few of my favorite colors out of it. And so I'm like really running low on designer series paper here. So I don't have very many strips left to choose from. Oh, here, we can do one of these. This is gonna look good. I like this. So I'm just gonna cut a strip. Hang on. With my handy dandy Stampin' Trimmer. Okay. I think I just wanted another, oh, I like, and it's the double grid up there. Adventure Awaits. I need something more brown down here. Maybe the trick is just another slip of paper. I'm just trying to balance that. Oh, that's cute. I think I like that. Maybe this globe needs to be a different color. Does the globe need to be a different color? See, but I have them already. Okay, I like that globe a different color. This is a different continent. We don't want that. North America. Nope, don't want that either. Oh, and I have one of these. Oh, that's cute. Yep. Yay! Now we got to glue it together. You're seeing how fast we just did 3 pages. The effort is in the prep, and then once you have all that prepped, it really becomes much quicker to assemble. So I'm going to maybe assemble this in a little bit of a different manner. So doing this bottom piece centered. I eyeball it. I know some people actually measure, but that's not me. Sliding these off so I can remember where they go. Let's put on this bigger piece here. And I don't go crazy with the adhesive and do every edge. Of course you can, especially if you're one of my customers and you need to buy refills. You just use that snail all you want. Another little flag tail in, snip, snip. Okay, come on now. So did you see, oh, lift up. Sometimes when it's not cupping, the pressure isn't the trick. You don't want to just start pushing to get it to come. You want to roll it with your finger to kind of prime it like I had done. I'm a little worried about putting it on the back of this because this is textured. Just slow is the trick. Okay, it worked. And then lift up. It's textured from being running through the machine and being embossed, and I didn't want it to start to rip on me. A little bit too long. Rolling those edges. Hope that's not upside down. No, I see a 7. That looks right. Okay, let's get the Adventure Awaits across the bottom of my picture because we are waiting for the next trip. Making sure I'm lined up, and I'm not. Okay, a little bit on here. Hi, Cindy. That's cute. Look at these cute kids. They're getting so big. You guys wait till we go back and I'll show you the very first picture in the album. Such a difference. Oh, what was this piece of paper? Was I using that? No, maybe? Or it was from the other page. See, when you're doing mini albums, these pieces become like so valuable because you need to use all those little bits for extra texture, and then you don't have to cut them out if you've saved them all along the way. This is overhanging from the other side of the other page, but it doesn't hurt my feelings at all. And our globes, and we're gonna do the swirly bit, and I think we're done. How are you guys doing? You hanging in there? I know I'm talking a lot, but showing a lot of product or content at the same time, right? So there we go, and then I'm gonna do a little bit of this guy. Hello, Vicky. What size are my printed photos? They don't know. I never print 4x6 when I'm doing mini albums. I'll do 4x4. These ones are 3.5 by 5. North. There we go. And then I got to put this on. Oh, I'm going to break my rule and use liquid glue because, you know, there's no other way to put this on. I guess I could have used, whoop, sorry for the noise there, adhesive sheets and stuck it on, but come on. I don't want to squeeze because then I'm going to have it everywhere. Oh, there it's coming. A couple of little dots. Oh, that's so cute. Stick that on there so that it just has some weight to stick down. Okay, I think we're doing good. Oh, what time is it? Oh, we're good. Not too far. I'm going to show you the album again, and we're going to do a little bit of a... Oh no, there was one more thing. Oh my gosh, how could I forget? This is like the best part of this album. I was so excited when I thought of this. Okay, so that's gonna dry now. So these are the pages that we just threw together with all of our die cut pieces and our layers of designer series paper. I went on the computer and I printed in, I know you guys are gonna ask me this, Montserrat Light, size 12 font. What is your favorite place to print your pictures? Okay, so in Canada, and this fits perfectly in this punch, so we're just gonna punch these out. I went to London Drugs because it's 24 hours, but I don't like the color and the exposure of London Drugs. They're mass producers, so they are affordable photo printing. I also don't like the color and the photo printing of Costco. So I really like McBain camera, again in Canada. I don't think that that's global. They do a much better job, and I get them always in pearl. I don't get them in shiny, so a little bit more matte. Honestly, it's finding what your preference is, because every photo, if you print this photo at every photo place, it's gonna be a different price, it's gonna be a different exposure, it's gonna be a different color, blah, blah, blah. So now I have all these. So this is Victoria, Canada. So let's get some glue dots on Victoria, Canada. So I said every city outside of Canada, but now I realize that this one's gonna come down here. We did trips on a cruise that with Canada was a port, so I'm gonna include this one. This one is Alaska. And I guess I could have done Alaska. When I did Italy, I did every city. When we did Juneau and we did Skagway and all that kind of stuff. So I could have done those, but I didn't because I didn't have photographs of every port. Some of them I forgot to take photographs because we just had like lazy walk the town, eat ice cream kind of days. So look how it's pointing to Alaska. Isn't that adorable? And then in here, Riviera Maya in Mexico. Now we're nowhere near these places, so I'm just gonna whoop, straight. There we go. Isn't that adorable? So yeah, not a lot of room for journaling on here, but definitely you could squish and move some of these pieces down. I guess you could journal up here. Okay. Of course, everything needs a hole punch. As Susan mentioned, I may be going over top of some of my pieces, but start with your cover and then determine where your holes are. Use a pencil. And then I have my old-fashioned trusty crocodile to cut these holes. So once I've traced them, then I can put this together like that. Yeah, went through there, went through a picture. Doesn't hurt my feelings. Okay, let's make sure I get this in the right order. Riviera Maya is the last page. Whew, thank God I punched on the right side. Okay, I gotta get this back together. I lost my binder clip. We have a few more joining us. Cute, love your energy, thank you. Where's your, oh, we already, I thought you were gonna say, where's my favorite city? And don't ask me that question, I can't answer that. We've been to too many places. Okay, in, and then let's get this last one coming here. These rings I get at your office supply store or educational supply store. We have like teacher education station type stores here. That's where these rings come from. When I was cleaning out all of my kids' school supplies, all the past stuff, I actually found some in their assignments. So I took those out and I kept those from like flashcards and stuff like that. Okay, so I can show you the cover, but let's just go back and revisit. In here, as I mentioned, there would be some space for journaling on some of them. And I followed that same philosophy that I did on the other pages, where start with a card base, add a larger piece of designer series paper, grab all the scraps and cut pieces that I have and just start layering them together. Handy dandy rings, love it. Crocodile is such an essential hole punch. Did you ever need it? Oh yeah, eyelets. Back in the day we had eyelets. But before that, do you remember the hammer we used to have for eyelets? And that was even more old school. So it's the same, like I said, I have these tabs everywhere. I wrote 2012 here. I might be able to write, this was actually in, not the Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom. So I could put Animal Kingdom and April in here to add a little bit more detail, but I just haven't done that yet. This one is lots of room, more of a clean layout. So just a couple of layers, something more simple. I turn those tab punches on their sides for a longer title or tab, I guess. So yeah, and this coordinates, so they're matchy-matchy in the double layouts. Oh, I have diamonds on all these pages. We better add those to the last 3 pages when we get back there. In this double layout, I felt that it was too fussy to try to get these to line up. In hindsight, I could have cut it, stamped it, then cut it, but it doesn't bother me that this is kind of lining up and doesn't align on the next page, but they match good enough for me. So I do like these coordinating pages here and those feathers. It was funny when I watched Cindy, I think it was Cindy's launch. She's like, when we did a travel suite, I knew it had to have feathers in an ink pot because you always need feathers in an ink pot when you travel. And I'm like, I've never taken a feather or an ink pot traveling before. Good old Barcelona. So again, the coordinate, I took that strip of paper here, very subtle embellishment with just one single globe. So definitely doable if you're a beginner. These get a little bit more layers, a little bit more bougie. Ditto. And then this is where we picked up. So this was Phuket, and then I did the coordinating page here in Seattle. Is that the one? No, you didn't watch me. That one was already done because it has a diamond. So this is what you watched me do. Let's stick some diamonds on this one. Gotta have your take your pick. And then everything is matchy-matchy. So just pick whatever you want. Oh, that looks good there. I'll put this up there. Maybe a small one. And a small one there. And then one more on the back page. Adventure awaits. It sure does. There. Okay. I'm just checking my notes. Trisha said, you don't have custom ink pots and feathers? No, sadly, they're not in my traveling bag. So I just added on some diamonds on there, but if you had washi, ribbon, anything like that, feel free to just add it, embellishment, go crazy. The only thing that I caution you about is, let me grab this as a card, just happens to be in front of me, is doing bows like this, which I love to do, but you run the risk of part of that glue dot still being exposed. Like I can still feel it from the behind that bow on the card. And if you have something like that, I speak from experience, your pages can actually kind of get stuck together. So I would avoid adding a bow in a case like that. That would probably be my only tip. If you're doing twine, stick it underneath one of your embellishments like a bird's nest. I love how with the rings you could keep adding if you wanted to. Yeah, so hopefully we can travel again and I can add. I love this, Krista. Thank you. My husband is watching. What up, Arturo? And then I briefly talked about album assembly, how I put those in and then using the rings. You could use ribbon if you wanted to. And of course, you could even buy binders, small binders from the craft store or an office store. And then you could punch these holes that coordinate with the binder and then add them in and you wouldn't have to have the rings. And Smarty, no sticky wanted. Yeah, love your mini album. Thank you. Lovely. Do you guys want me to show you how I made the cover since we've made it this far and we're an hour in? Why not? Maybe, baby. What have I got to lose now? I guess if you say no, then you can just always leave. He's just checking. Are you finished yet? Yeah, totes. Or I'm not lying, sitting down here, you know, drinking wine and doing nothing. Okay, so these are the pieces. And this is where I started. This comes with our specialty designer series paper. I know if you are like me, a loyal hoarding crafter, you probably have stacks of those laying around in white and in the cardboard. I actually did an album with the white ones. Hang on. So this one, I used the white ones. You guys will recognize this glossy. And then I just put a piece of designer series paper on the front. Oh, and this one I tied ribbons on the rings. Cute, right? So you can use these as well because it just gives you a nice album cover. Look at how little my kids were. I just love going through these. They're so cute. Okay. Now I cut this already, the chipboard with my heavy duty paper cutter. Be careful if you're cutting with your trimmer. Something so thick can wear out your blades quicker than you might want. Another tip is you could use a cutting mat, a metal straight edge, and an X-Acto knife just to save your special blades in your paper trimmer. Because I know if you're like me, you like those blades nice and sharp so that you don't get frayed edges when you're cutting other pieces of cardstock. So, can I fit all this in my screen? Yeah. Okay. So remember to cut 2 because you need a front and a back cover. So these again are cut to 6 by 9 because they fit perfectly inside a 5.5 by 8.5, right? So 6 by 9. Now I'm going to take black strips. So these strips are, I just cut them to whatever, 1.5 inches by 9. So that's going to come down the front. I use it too. Yes, hoarder here. What? When you memory keep, do you make more copies for your kids to keep when they move away? Very good question, Trisha. When we used to have My Digital Studios, which was the digital software, I would print 3 copies. And now I'm only doing singles. I figure I have enough empty scrapbook pages in my collection that I could end up making each of them their own little album with pictures. So one day I will get that. And you know what was so funny? When COVID started, I actually made a list of scrapbooks that I was going to do. Alaska and Ariano's first birthday and all these kind of things. But oh my God, I didn't do any during COVID. Such a sweet idea, but who has time for that, says Susan. Yeah, not I. Okay, so I wanted this to wrap, this black, because it's kind of like when you have a book, it does that. Doesn't it seem like very old world to you? I liked that. So get your cutting blade out of the way. I just moved it up there. It's kind of hard to see. And then I'm going to score this at 1 inch because it's 1.5. So I'm just scoring it at 1 inch. Can you see that? Voila. And I should do the other one while I'm at it. Good plan, says Trisha. Yeah. I saw this woman today. She was wearing a black hoodie and she was in Michael's, again, because I was trying to find scrapbook pages. Usually I never go to the M store because that's like cheating on my husband type. Not because I'm spending money, but because of the Stampin' Up thing, right? But she had this black hoodie on and in bright white letters, it said Bad Moms Club. And I was like, girl, where did you get that sweater? I loved it. Okay, so we're just gonna fold these over and use your bone folder because it makes everything pretty. If I had a bone folder, oh, there it is. It was hiding on me. So we're gonna bone fold and bone fold. True that. Yeah, I wish I had more time, but it is what it is. Oh, I think I made that one bigger. Oh no, same, just looks funny. So this is just hugging over the edge. You see, we're good. Yep, bueno. Now I have pre-cut this strip of, I always want to say copper, but it's not, brass. And it's just going to have a little peekaboo. My lesson learned here is, and I left it this way so I could show you guys, this is not sticking because it's under pressure because it's wrapped around and then it's on a foil sheet. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to put liquid glue and do a little crafty surgery on here. But this time I'm going to get it right. So I'm going to use my chisel tip here. If I can get it to go. Oh, there we go. Whoa. See? Maybe you shouldn't be doing this over top of the page, Krista. And then I'm going to line this up. I don't know why I'm trying to use my grid. I want it just a tiny sneakaroo. Oh, that looks good. Looking good. Nice and straight. Gentle. And then we're going to come and put more. Not too much because it'll squeeze out everywhere. How are we doing? Okay. Put the lid on. Oh. Okay. That was a close one, you guys. I guess it doesn't matter which way it goes. Now, hug it over top. Now it's not going anywhere. We'll see, but I don't want to stick it in whatever was sticky down there. Maybe I should have done this at 2 inches because this is not sticking. I think I did the other one bigger. I just gripped and ripped. Give a little squish in there. I have to put a book on it or something. Come on now. That glue makes it smell good. This glue smells good? What? Let me smell. Ew, that glue doesn't smell good. What? What are you talking about? What did I do wrong? Did I do something stupid? Did I smell it and I didn't know it? Because it stinks. Okay, so we got that part done. Let's get some globes on the background using your preference of continent. Didn't Susan say that New Zealand wasn't in the stamp or the die? Did I hear that? Did you say that one time? I feel like that was a thing. And I stamped off. So you can stamp full strength if you want. I'm using crumb cake. I'm stamping off. And I'm using, of course, North America, because that's my hood. Okay, my fingers are all sticky. Now, let's take a piece of designer series paper. Am I in the screen? How am I doing? Okay, I have to check myself every once in a while. I get carried away. I get emotional and in the moment, and I forget what I'm doing, that I have people with me. I'm not just talking to myself. Made you sniff. Oh, that's just allergies. Seasonal allergies. Not COVID, I promise. Okay, which one do I want to use? I think I want to use the grid. And I want it to be a little bit skinnier. Do I care? Maybe I'm not going to care. Maybe we're just going to grip and rip and we're going to use the scraps that were there and we're going to be spontaneous and we're going to let the cards fall where they may. There we go. And lift up. Now this is too long. I am well aware. Oh, bougie. That looks good. But we're going to just trim that off. Got to use some. No, New Zealand is in there. Just hadn't found it at that time. It was so teeny. Oh, well, that's okay. A teeny country means you don't get all this COVID craziness that the rest of the world has, right? Okay, so just trim that off, right? Boom. Oh, forgot. We have to do a little bit of die cutting. So I used Stitched So Sweetly dies, and I think I used the biggest cookie. This looks like a cookie to me. No, second to one. Second to largest. Okay, so we got that guy and we got that guy. So we need black and crumb cake, and that's just going to give us some extra layers on here. I have an ink pad that's not closed and I need to close it or else something's going to go in it. Black crumb cake. So you'll remember my tip was get all your cardstock out and have it at the ready. So these were just sitting there. I didn't have to go in my drawer, didn't have to dig anything out. I like to put tape on my dies. This is repositionable tape. So you buy it at your office supply store. And the trick is that it has blue on the inside. So it's repositionable and it holds those dies in place. Because I want to cut these at the same time because I'm lazy, I'm just going to trim off some of this cardstock so they're both going to fit on my die plate. And I don't have the new machine yet. Shocker, I know. I made all of these statements at the beginning of the video that I was like some big, fancy, award-winning Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. That's more of the years past. So I'm on a budget these days and I don't have it yet. It's been a couple of years since I earned an incentive trip, but that's okay. I went back to work in an office and I just have a different balance of life with things right now. But I know one day my retirement plan is to go back to doing Stampin' Up! Hardcore. Lots of classes. So I can drink wine and have coffee with my friends all the time. It just got hard to balance with my kids in extracurricular in the evenings, and then I was always having to do classes. So here I am talking about my retirement plan, and I didn't tell you what I just did. So I mentioned that I like to tape down my dies, and that is because I like to cut everything upside down. So if you noticed in the beginning, this die was sitting like this. It does that for a couple of reasons. My bottom plate is always clean and shiny and never scarred. And my top plate is the plate that always gets cut. It allows that force of pressure from the machine to cut right into the top of that blade. And I find that it lets those dies pop out easy right with the first crank. The second thing is that this die plate doesn't curve. So I don't know if that's because it's always the cutting plate or there's one clean uncut and one that is bruised, but for whatever reason, I find that it keeps my plates from curving. The other tip is don't always cut in the center. Make sure you're cutting all the way around, front and back, all corners, and it again is going to help that from curving. So now we have these. Oh, and last, store your plates midway, and then you know they're going to sit nice and flat. Okay, back to my album cover. This could be a perfect album cover just the way it is. So we have this guy, and we have this guy. Just don't ever throw the paper away and forget to take those out. Word to the wise. I'm sure we have a die for this circle, but I'm lazy, so we're gonna just fussy cut this circle out. It's primarily covered anyway, so if this isn't perfect, it's not gonna hurt my feelings. It would be super awesome if there was a punch for this because like I said, I'm a punch girl. I used to say I'm a punch starts with an S and likes to go around with all the boys, but I know there's children watching, so I'm not gonna say that if you catch my drift. Globes. Let's put in, no, blue, no. I guess I'm gonna have to die cut some globes. I'm gonna just do that at the end. Let's just keep stamping. Let's see if we can line this up. I had this piece already cut, so I'm gonna do You Make the World a Better Place in Misty Moonlight. Another great die cutting tip, and so glad you were showing how to do the cover. Oh, good. Here I thought you guys were all falling asleep on me. So let's get this into the middle. You make the world a better place. Oh, snazzy. We need a couple of strips in here. Okay, I like the globes down there. And then I'm gonna balance them up here. Maybe bring in some of that green. One across the middle. Whoops, the daisies. Across the middle. I think I need one more. What other scraps do we have in here? Let's see. Oh, I know. This one. We used it on the last scrapbook page. Let's add one of these in there. Oh, it could even be blue. That's nice. Yep. Like that blue. Green, 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 blue, gold, or not copper, brass. Okay, I think we got balance. We got to do those globes. And I love that there's two globes. Again, because I kept getting hung up on the continents. But because when you're doing something like this, then you can just do one crank through the machine, which is awesome for a lazy stamper. So I have my scrap Mossy Meadow sitting here. So I'm just going to put these on and crank that through. That blue is my favorite paper. Okay, let's get that big shot back. Move this ever so gently. Okay. It's so heavy and clunky. It makes me really want the new one now. I think I'm not going to wait much longer. I'm going to cave and get it. Cindy was such a good salesman with it when she was explaining it on her video. I was like, well, I can't not get that now. Okay, so upside down in a die like this, boom, it just makes it pop right out. And all those pieces just come a-flying. I don't know if that one's gonna come. Come on. There we go. There, just like that. Now we have a big mess. You can imagine the mess when I made all of those pieces and I had them all in my tray ready to go. I had to sweep the floor after. There were so many little bits from these globes. Okay, let's bring the original in and see how we're doing. I'm gonna cut this one a little bit smaller. I wish I was a little bit taller. Wish I was a rabbit in a hat, something like that. There's a song that's like from the 80s or 90s. That's an oldie. Okay, the globes. Let's come down here. This one's green. And the globes again. I'd love to see the cards you make out of leftover bits and pieces. Oh, well, are you challenging me? I suppose I could do that, Susan. Thanks for asking. Oh my goodness, my poor throat. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be clearing my throat. Okay, so we got those. Let's get the rest of these down. I think it's just a matter of mass assembly now. So we got this rectangle. Lift up. Oh, I love this Seal Plus. Oh, I haven't used it yet. It's making me so happy. There's something so satisfying about a grid paper too. It just makes everything line up. Awesome, awesome. Okay. And the globe. Let's get those glue dots going here. Did I put that on with dimensionals? Nope, still going strong with the Stampin' Seal Plus. No dimensionals. Dimensionals are hard on the cover because you don't want it to snag on things, of course, right? Oh, I shouldn't have been so aggressive putting that down because I got to tuck in my globe. Might have to cut the globe. Oh, no. Yep. Just got to cut it a little bit to sneak it in there. Hello, Shirley. Good, good. Couple of more layers, you guys. All these little bits and strips that you've collected from your designer series paper are going to be perfect on here. So this one's a little bit different, but it's just because I'm using what I have, using all those little scrap pieces. Whoop. Lift up, lift up. And let's make sure we're doing, do I want to use, I'm not going to do the blue. I'm going to leave this more of the neutral colors, I think. As hard as a decision that is, because I certainly love this blue color. I think I'm going to make the decision to go this way. And then I had that ribbon out, yeah? Somewhere? Here we go. Just enough to do a loop. Where are my ribbon scissors, Krista? There we go. This ribbon is awesome. I know Cindy talked about it in her video when we talked about all of the products in this suite. This ribbon is so luxurious and soft. I just love it. And no animals were harmed in the making of this ribbon because it is not real suede. So you can sleep at night if that's your thing. Okay, dimensionals coming right up. I can only find mini dimensionals. So we're gonna have to use these guys. No waste. I'm doing a dimensional, I hope, on the top and the bottom so I can straddle that ribbon. And I know I said no dimensionals on the cover, but this is only one. We're just gonna keep it minimal. Ta-da! Cool, hey? So when I started the whole assembly process, I literally, this is what I did. So I have this really fancy ruler I can't seem to find. I love this ruler because you can see through it and it's a perfect grid. So I know that this is 1 inch and there's a 1/2 inch here. So I came down 2 inches and then I came in 1 inch. And you can still see, yep, we're good. One, and I'm coming up 2. Did I do 2 or 1.5 on this other one? 1.5. 1.5. Okay. So I have a mark here and a mark here, and that's going to set the tone for the assembly for all of the holes. And again, our trusty old crocodile. Now, when you go and do your pages, shall we pretend this is an actual page? You're just going to line them up on the inside so it's exactly where you want it. You could come all the way to the edge or you could recess it like that, and then you can do your hole punches. Now, Susan was a little worried that I was cutting into all of my photos and layers. So technically, you could go in your step number 1 in the process of, oh, I did the wrong. I wanted the big hole. In your process of getting all your pages ready for your layouts to do this, and then they're ready for you to be conscious of where those holes are, like that. Okay, we survived. Love it. I am so happy with this album. I really love it. I'm gonna do a picture of every spread for you guys so you can see it, but look at how teeny tiny they were. 2012, our first plane ride, our first trip, and then in 2020, how big they are. So cute. Okay, bear with me, don't get seasick. Flip, flip. Hello. Okay. I'm hot from all those lights. How did I do, you guys? Are you good? Can you remind me of your page sizes? Of course. So the cover is 6 by 9, and then the pages on the inside are 8.5 by 5.5. So it's just taking an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper and cutting it in half. So that's the size of this album. But like I said at the beginning of the video, I showed you a huge stack over here of all the albums that I've ever made, and they vary in sizes. Some of them are the size of a card because I've used envelopes or cards to actually create an album like that. Fabulous project. Thank you very much. So I have a couple of things for you guys. I have this cheat sheet, mini album instructions of my steps, my thought process, that I'm going to post a PDF so you could use that and attempt your own mini album. If this is way out of your comfort zone, you know what? This easily could be made into a card front. So you can use my philosophy of scraps and layers and try my thought process where you have a bigger piece of designer series paper as a background, and then you just start layering in rectangles, ovals, labels, strips, and some of the stamped cut out pieces like the feathers or the globes or something. I love the whole book. Looking forward to seeing your photos of the whole thing. Thank you, Antoinette. Loved watching this. Thanks, Krista Frattin. Oh, you're welcome, Susan. So being that I'm the last tutorial of the month, thank you for hanging on with me this long and making it through. I will be sitting down at my computer here right after to create the PDF document that we will release into this group, and we will pin it at the top so you can always come back to reference it. It will include color photographs of our sneak peeks that we had in our July social media. It will have color photographs of the 4 tutorial videos you saw this month with project supply lists and links to those videos. You can save that PDF to your desktop, and yes, those links will work from your desktop. You could print it old school and keep it handy, or you can come back to this Facebook group forever and a day as long as Facebook exists and access it at any time. Loved watching your scrapbook and creating this project. Thank you. Great project, and thanks for sharing your process. I have a desire to scrapbook now, which I haven't done for a very long time. Yay! I'm so happy about that. I too am super inspired. This was very therapeutic for me. I think the world is all going through the pandemic together, and it was really nice to reflect and be grateful of the places we've traveled and the experiences we've had. Every trip but one of these was at the hand of Stampin' Up. At the hand of my hard work and effort, but a reward from Stampin' Up. So great project, Lori. Thank you. Or great project, Krista from Lori. Thank you. So we talked about the PDF. We are at the end of the month. We really would love to see all of you continue on with us into September, where we are doing the Christmas collection. If you've never seen a Crafty Carrot collection before, it is pretty mind-blowing the amount of content and inspiration that you get. There's 4 different stamp sets, one for each of us 4 designers. We do our videos just like you saw here this month. Nothing changes there. The only bonus is that following every video, the other 3 Crafty Carrot designers case that and post it. You've seen a lot of casing in this program this month because we have had the best following from our group ever, and you guys are very invested and very active in creating and sharing, which we love, and we appreciate you as a community. But you'll see us as the design team doing that with the Christmas projects in September. We did our sneak peeks in August, and I'm doing Merry Moose, so you might recognize this one from social media. I almost barfed having to make a Christmas card in August because here in Edmonton, Canada, we only get a few months and a few weeks of summer. So it was like 30 above and a beautiful day, and I had to try to think about a Christmas card. But I did it. It's gorgeous, and I'm gonna have to make more Christmas cards in September. So I will be okay. I will drink wine and I will create Christmas cards in September. The good news about that is that we can all get a head start on our Christmas cards. We did push it up this year because we had a couple of thoughts behind that process. We may not be able to see people as much as we have over the holidays in years past. So I know that if I'm sending someone a card that I may not be able to see in person, I want to spend a little bit extra effort on my cards. I have been one to do Stamp-A-Stacks and Christmas card cranks and get those 75 Christmas cards out and drop them in all the neighbors' mailboxes. But because we're distant this Christmas, well, potentially, I don't know if COVID's going anywhere, I am mark my words, I'm gonna spend a little bit more time adding layers and personality to my cards that I'm sending to the people that I love. So what did we get here? Rhonda says, thanks, Krista. Loved watching how you organized your pages and putting them together. Susan said, you Christmas crafted South Pacific style. For all this, we thank you. Yeah, Christmas without snow. Like, what is that, right? They had pumpkin spice lattes come out yesterday. I went into Michael's today and it was all Halloween everywhere. I'm like, we haven't even got back to school yet. I'm not ready for this, you guys. I don't even want to think about it because in Canada, that means cold. The days are short. Everything's depressing. I can't go on my boat, that kind of stuff. Totally inspired. You are so fun to watch. Thank you, Charlotte. And I really have talked a really long time, but thank you for watching. We have loved your interaction this month. You all are fabulous. Thank you for entertaining us and playing along, sharing what you create. You are all very talented, I must say. And watch for my photos of my project, watch for the PDF, and let us know if you have any questions. We love to hear from you. Mwah! Take care, everyone. Whoop, bye. Now bye. Bye.